Royals fans ready to celebrate a sweep. But the Angels, after dropping the first two at home, look to return the favor here in Kansas City. The 2014 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. It's Game 3, the Angels and the Royals. They're on TBS. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Kansas City. I'm Ernie Johnson. This is Ron Darling. This is the Iron Man, Cal Ripken. The Royals won the wild card game, the first two games of this series, all in extra innings. How are they getting it done, Cal?
Well, they came in as the underdogs for sure, but it's not who's supposed to win, it's who executes the best. And the Royals have executed all facets of the game. First in the pitching, the bullpen hadn't given up an inning, and that starting staff can be electric. Then on defense, they played spectacular, nothing more spectacular than this play from Dyson. And then it comes to timely hitting. And what about this extra inning home run by Eric Hosmer? Couldn't get more timely than that. In the end, they've just played better than the Angels.
Meantime, on the Anaheim side, Ron, we've talked about this. Here's the best record in baseball. Nobody scored more runs than the Angels. What's going on here?
And really only 3 runs in these 22 innings, 2 solo shots, and Pujols drove in a run. What's happening? Their best players are not playing the best baseball. Simple as that. But for you Anaheim fans, there is some positive. If you look at today, Howie Kendrick off Shields is 14 for 26, and Cole Calhoun has a couple hits in both games. So they're going to be looking for that offense here today.
If you're wondering, team loses 2 games at home to start a best-of-5. What are the chances that they come back and win? It's happened a couple of times. The Yankees did it to the A's in 2001, and 2 years ago, the San Francisco Giants turned the trick on the Cincinnati Reds. It's an uphill climb for the Angels, and it begins tonight here in Kansas City. We know this. The winner of this series gets the Baltimore Orioles, as you saw earlier on TBS. First pitch of this one coming right up.
This 2014 ALDS telecast on TBS is brought to you by T-Mobile, by Jim Beam, Make History, by the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here. And by Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Sunday night, Kansas City, Missouri. And a chance for the Kansas City Royals to advance to the American League Championship Series, which the Baltimore Orioles, they punched their ticket with a sweep of the Detroit Tigers. Angels will have something to say about that tonight. Cole Calhoun leads it off as we give you the batting order presented by T-Mobile. Mike Trout in the 2-hole, he struggled. Albert Pujols hits 3rd. Howie Kendrick in the cleanup spot. Eric Ibar is the shortstop hitting 5th, followed by David Freese at 3rd. Josh Hamilton, also one of those guys wearing the Angel uniform, who has found the going tough here in the division series. C.J. Cron's the DH, and Chris Iannetta is behind the plate. They call him Big Game. James Shields, he's on the mound for Kansas City.
Well, 114 career wins by Shields, 27 with this Royals team after getting traded over. But his last 3 postseason starts, talked about Big Game James, his ERA is almost 10, and he's 0-2.
Defensively, and you talked about it as we came on the air, Cal, this is a bunch that's gotten it done.
Yeah, that's spectacular defense. You got Alex Gordon with 3 Gold Gloves. Lorenzo Cain has made some wonderful plays, and Nori Aoki has made some wonderful plays out there as well. Up the middle, you got Escobar and Infante, the double play combination. Moustakas and Gold Glove winner Eric Hosmer at first base. Behind the plate is Salvador Perez, and on the mound is James Shields.
Well, they have been waiting all day for this, and all day yesterday for that matter, here in Kansas City, ever since the Royals took the first 2 games of this series in Anaheim. Cole Calhoun steps in. He has been the hottest hitter for the Angels, 4 out of 10 in the series. The team hitting 141. You take Calhoun's production out of there, and you have very, very little, and that one's high and away to start this game, and we appreciate you joining us here on TBS.
Well, it's probably a little bit of a combination of the Angels hitters not swinging well, but the pitching has been really, really good from Kansas City.
Shields to the plate. Popped up behind second into shallow center, and Lorenzo Cain puts it away for the first out.
Shocking. Anything in the air to the outfield, Kansas City is usually caught. Just an instant out.
Mike Trout steps in. His playoff debut. He's 0 for 8. He's 2 for 6 with a home run against James Shields. Trout does have a couple of walks, but he is hitless. Shields misses inside 1-0.
You know, it's interesting about Trout. He's very passive usually early in the count. And because Kansas City's been going after him, it seems like he's 0-2 or 1-2 in every count. But Shields missed with that first one.
That ball is driven to left field. Gordon takes a look, and that's all he can do. Mike Trout has gone deep here in the first. That'll snap your 0 for 8.
This is a 1-0 fastball. I was just about to say, I'd like to see him take a big swing, an aggressive big swing early in this game just to set the tone. And he was all over this one. Catches it perfectly, and it's a no-doubter.
First time in this series that the Angels have had a lead. Pujols takes down and in, 1-0.
Well, they've been pitching Trout in, and it looked like he made up his mind that at bat right there with that pitch. I'm going to look in and swing hard.
There's a strike. Pujols, the number 3 hitter, is just 1 for 8 in the series. Does have an RBI. So the first punch thrown here in Game 3 comes from Mike Trout, and it connected.
Well, remember in that wild card game, James Shields started that game, gave up a 2-run home run to Brandon Moss in that first inning. 23 home runs given up this season.
Pujols hit 28 of them in the regular season, knocked in 105 runs. Another look at Mike Trout. Splashdown. He's going upstream. Chopper to third. Moustakas, and look at the pick by Eric Hosmer. Saved his buddy an error. 2 down.
It looked like Mike just tried to guide that ball across there, and Hosmer shows off his hands a little bit. He doesn't assume that it's going to be a good throw. He should anticipate a bad throw. He got caught in between, picked it clean.
Hosmer won a Gold Glove at first base for the Royals last year. First Royal first baseman to pull that off. Here's Howie Kendrick.
That's something to watch there, because Moustakas all season long has had what the golfers usually use the term yips. He's had a little problem on his throws all season long.
Kendrick just 1 out of 9 in the series. Fly ball to right. Nori Aoki right on the line, makes the play, and that'll do it for the Angels in the first. But they lead for the first time in this series. Long ball by Mike Trout. Welcome back to the K here in Kansas City. And here's the batting order presented by T-Mobile. Alcides Escobar leads it off, then it's Nori Aoki. Lorenzo Cain hits third, then Eric Hosmer in the cleanup spot hit the game-winning home run in Game 2. Billy Butler, Alex Gordon, Salvador Perez. It's the same lineup he's used. Ned Yost in the first 2 games of this series. Mike Moustakas, the only Royal who was hit safely in all 3 games, the wild card game and the first 2 of this series. C.J. Wilson into the line, throws a strike to Escobar.
Some good news and bad news when you look at C.J. Wilson's year this year. Won 13 games, but you can see those 85 walks led the American League. He's going to try to stay away from those, of course, against this really aggressive, young hitting Royals team.
On the ground to second. Hendrick throws him out. 1 down. Wilson's 33 years old, spent some quality seasons with the Texas Rangers. And you look at his season this year. He did pick up a win against Kansas City in May, a no decision in June when he lasted only 3 2/3. In fact, there were 6 outings this season in which he did not get out of the 4th inning. He works with a 1-0 lead early here in Game 3. Here's Aoki. Aoki just 1 for 9 in the series. And of course, having played the wild card game as part of the postseason numbers, he's 1 for 13. But he did make a couple of acrobatic catches in Game 1 as the Royals took the opener. Shortened up as if to bunt and took it. 3-1.
That was so interesting to watch there because you could see Aoki's eyes were staring at David Freese, the third baseman, to see how far back he was before he faked that bunt.
That was a take all the way, and many times they square early just to annoy the pitcher or kind of make the pitcher not throw. It's one of those things that you'll see more times in Little League than you'll see hit the big leagues, but that still sometimes can be effective.
The 3-0 is over. 3 balls and a strike.
I was just thinking that the style of the Kansas City Royals hitting early in the count, swinging the bat, could play in to be very helpful to CJ. The borderline pitches they put in play as opposed to take.
Home plate umpire is Jeff Nelson. And you saw him signal strike. It's 3-2.
You think Wilson's walks are more about picking, looking at the outside corner, inside corner, just trying to make the perfect pitch, or it's just overall control and mechanics?
I think it's definitely, he's a perfectionist by nature. He wants to throw each pitch on the corner and be perfect, and I think that gets into trouble a lot of times. Mike Butcher's shaking his head there on the right like, yes, he's aggressive so far.
Slapped into left field. Base hit for Aoki on the 3-2 pitch.
Aoki this year had a better year against the left-handers. Batted .363 on left-handed pitching.
He stays in and is content hitting the ball the other way. What did Tony Gwynn used to call that hole?
5.5 hole, I believe.
Aoki swiped 17 bags in the regular season. He was 17 out of 25. Lorenzo Cain steps in. He's just 3 for 16 in the postseason, 1 for 10 in this series. And he takes low and away, 1-0.
You would think that with Wilson on the mound, you should be able to neutralize, at least in a small part, the stolen base here for the Royals. See his pitching breakdown.
With the Chevrolet pitch tracks. Cain hit .301 in the regular season, top 10 in the American League. He was number 8. And he goes the other way. Base hit to right. Aoki's going to hold up at second. Back-to-back singles here in the first for Kansas City.
It's just a fastball away. Lorenzo takes it right over there in the hole, created by holding the runner on first base. I'll tell you what, Calhoun does a really nice job of charging this. He knows Aoki wants to go first to third, and he gets to the ball early enough to make him make that decision to stop.
Very interesting right away. Both hits to the opposite field by Aoki and Kane.
Top three hitters for the Royals in this series, 3 for 28 coming in, but Aoki and Kane back-to-back singles. And here's Eric Hosmer. .429 in this series, .545 this postseason for the Royals first baseman. And he takes a breaking pitch, 0-1.
Talked about timely hitting on the part of the Kansas City Royals. The 3, 4, 5 spots in the Kansas City lineup are 6 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
That looked like the cut he took the other night in Anaheim. That one connected. And it came in the 11th inning. 2-run shot as the Royals took the first 2 games on the road. They had a great road record in the regular season. No balls, 2 strikes to Hosmer. Strike 3 call.
I think one thing we've seen here early from Jeff Nelson is that he is going to be aggressive, the home plate umpire, in calling strikes. A big breaking ball to start Hosmer, more like a cutter slider here. And then finally a big breaking ball he's just trying to throw off the corner, which I thought he did, but he got the call from Nelson.
2 down now for Billy Butler. Missed 1-0. Wilson staked to a 1-0 lead on the Mike Trout home run in the top half of the first, trying to hold on to it here in the bottom half. Aoki at second, Kane at first, good speed. Ran it inside. Almost nipped that Royals jersey. 2-0. Mike Scioscia, Mike Butcher.
Meeting with Scioscia before the game was one of the funniest we've ever been in. Scioscia was asking us questions. What do you think I should do?
Missed again, 3-0. Yeah, Mike, we had the usual give and take, questions, answers. What do you think? You know, you're down 2-0, Bob. And he says, well, that's all I got. What you got?
That's an example right there on the 2-0 pitch of not giving in and trying to make a perfect pitch. Now the count is 3-0. Throws that breaking ball.
Problem is Butler probably swinging here 3-0.
They are loaded for Alex Gordon.
See Mike Butcher deciding to go out. Never want to, as a pitching coach, have to go out in the first inning to talk to your veteran starter.
It's interesting. Sometimes they talk about having a base open. You know, it's not always the first base being open.
Just, you hate to pitch with the bases loaded here. You're going up against, I think, the best player for the Royals all season long. Wilson's a guy who won his first postseason start in the Texas Rangers uniform. He's 0-5 since.
Well, the logic is the lefty-lefty matchup. Threw 3 great breaking balls to Hosmer.
This was Alex Gordon the other night, knocking in a run in Anaheim as Hosmer scored. Big at bat early here in Kansas City. Gordon was the Royals' leading home run hitter and RBI man in the regular season. Royals lead from every base as C.J. Wilson looks in. Breaking pitch missed, 1-0.
That was the bigger curveball, not the short slider. He chose to try to get ahead in the count.
That found the mark, 1-1. Boy, awful early in a game to see a pitching coach on the phone.
Came right back with that breaking pitch and found the middle of the strike zone. This is a take no prisoners, no loyalty here. If you don't have it, we're going with someone else.
Vinny Pistano is up and loosening in the Angel bullpen. Pistano was the last Angel pitcher used in Game 2 after the Hosmer home run. Wilson a pitch away from getting out of this. It's 1-2. Great job by Iannetta sliding out to keep that in front. 2-2.
That's that little cutter slider that Wilson will feature against the left-handed hitter. Great athleticism from Iannetta.
Yeah, 6 out of the 7 pitches, 2 left-handers so far have been breaking balls. You got to protect against the fastball, but I think you have to have the breaking ball in the back of your mind if you're Gordon.
In the air to left center field. Mike Trout with a long run. He will not get there. The ball's off the wall. Kane scores the second run. They're going to wave. Billy Butler. Here's the throw. He is safe. A bases clearing triple for Alex Gordon.
That short little slider. He stays on it, looking for it, looking to drive it to left center field, and does just exactly that. Hits off the base of the wall, scores all 3 runs.
How about the hustle by Billy Butler? The man who gets run for every game, it seems.
Talked about the fact there were a half dozen games this year in which C.J. Wilson didn't make it out of the 4th. Tonight, he doesn't make it out of the 1st. Vinny Pistano on his way in. Royals on top, 3-1. Billy Butler wearing the mic. Eric Hosmer wore it the other night. Hit a home run in extra innings. Butler wearing it tonight. Scores from first on what is it'll go in the books as a double, and he took third on the throw. But a 3-run double by Alex Gordon. Here's Salvador Perez. Vinny Pistano, the new Angel pitcher.
Pistano barely had time to get down to the bullpen, already in the game.
Well, life just got a lot more complicated for the Angels. Going to the pen in the 1st inning. in an elimination game against Kansas City. Popped up. That's going to be playable for Ionetta. But the damage done. Alex Gordon off the wall. A 3-run double. Kansas City claims the lead.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Kansas City, where the Royals have taken a 3-1 lead on the Angels in Game 3 of the ALDS. I'm Matt Weiner. Well, long before he was a Cardinal or an Angel, Albert Pujols was a Fort Osage Indian, as in Fort Osage High School, about 17 miles from Kauffman Stadium. Pujols spent most of his childhood in the Dominican Republic before a stop in New York City, then moved to the Kansas City area before his junior year of high school. Then went on to star at Maple Woods Community College before the Cardinals drafted him in 1999. Tonight, he's bought a suite and about 40 tickets for friends and family out here in left field. Obviously not his first time in the park, but it is his first postseason game here. And fellas, he has a career .329 batting average and has already hit 14 home runs here in KC. They could use him tonight.
Thank you, Matt. Lorenzo Cain all out, but trapped that one from Ibar, and that's a leadoff single here in the second.
Lorenzo reaches out for it, just misses catching it in the air, and somehow manages to catch it on the short hop. Keeps Ibar at first base. He's a little mad at himself that he didn't catch that in the air, isn't he?
Well, they've caught everything for a week.
So here's David Freese as the Angels try to answer right back after the 3-run Kansas City first. Freese takes a strike. If there's anybody on this roster that you don't have to tell that this thing is far from over, it would be David Freese. He's been on a St. Louis team down to its last strike when he struck in the World Series. Here they're down 2-0 and down 3-1 here in Game 5.
Got to be careful on the bases behind here. Ibar. Shields has one of the best right-handed pickoff moves in all the game. 23 pickoffs, most by right-handed pitcher in major leagues the last 4 years.
Ibar stole 16 bags this year, but he was caught 9 times. Two to the Angels' third baseman. Ball and 2 strikes. Mike Trout, a solo homer, a bomb in the first to give the Angels their first lead of this series, but it didn't last long. Kansas City comes back. Bases loaded, double off the wall by Alex Gordon. Scored 3.
Going with his power changeup again here, 1-2. Either trying to get a ground ball or a punch out.
Bounced away, and Ibar into second.
That's just great base running, Cal, there by Ibar.
In order to take off, it's not always that you have speed. It's that you're anticipating the ball in the dirt. As soon as you see the catcher go down, if you do have a little speed, it's very difficult for him to get up and throw you out. But a nice read, secondary lead, it just takes off right away, makes it easy.
We should point out, too, because if you were watching Game 2 and you saw Salvador Perez take that backswing on the helmet and the mask from Josh Hamilton, he was tested at that time by the training staff, tested again when the Royals got home, cleared to play. Freese takes a 2-2 outside, count full. There's Trout, who homered in the first.
Shields not real sharp early on in the game. Had a chance to put them away from 0-2. Now it's come all the way back to 3-2.
Now Freeze wants time, and it's granted by Jeff Nelson, the home plate umpire.
One of the stats we love to use is the shutdown inning ERA. It's 2.02 for Shields after his team has scored him some runs.
Payoff pitch, and he got him. Freeze goes down swinging for the first out.
Just was not going to give in to him, Cal. Went straight and stayed with that changeup.
That's a big-time pitch. Have the confidence to be able to throw it on 3-2 and then make that pitch.
And here's Josh Hamilton, 0 for 9 in the series with a couple of strikeouts. Career, he's 4 for 30 with 2 home runs. He breaks his bat as Aoki hauls it in. 2 down.
It's the second bat in 2 games that Hamilton has broken, and the bat has ended up past first base.
Now 0 for 10 in the series is Josh Hamilton. C.J. Crone steps in. Runner at second and 2 down, and he takes a strike. Angels started this game with 2 CJs in the game, both standing for Christopher John. He's the only one still in the game. The other, C.J. Wilson, chased after 2/3 of an inning. And quickly, Shields ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Checked his swing, a ball and 2 strikes.
One of the reasons I think that James Shields has always had great success, few right-handed hitters face right-handed changeups. They're just not a pitch that's used very often in the game. He's one of the rare ones.
Looks like he's coming with a fastball away.
Missed with it, 2-2.
Interesting, Perez knew it was a ball. James Shields knew it was a ball. The 40,000 plus here thought it was a strike.
Shields works on Crone with Ibar leading from second, and he struck him out. The Angels get a runner into scoring position but can't move him along. Middle of the second. Kansas City 3-1. To get exclusive behind-the-scenes access and expert opinions from the biggest names in sports, check out Behind the Mic powered by Ford on BleacherReport.com/Behind the Mic. Beautiful night here in Kansas City, as Omar Infante leads off the bottom half of the second against Vinny Pestano.
You know, it's interesting, during the regular season, sometimes when your starter doesn't go deep, which C.J. Wilson, the left-hander, doesn't, you bring a right-hander in kind of to turn the lineup around. No such dealings with both of these clubs that have had just about the same lineup out there for the first 2 games.
Yeah, Ned Yost has gone with the same unit. All 3 games, the wild card in the first 2 games of this series.
Probably 2 weeks before that. And they move Escobar into the leadoff spot.
Yeah, and you see what he likes to do defensively late in games too, with the use of Dyson and the move of Kane to right field. And why mess with it if if you're Kansas City? Infante looking for his first hit of this series. He's 0 for 8, and he's 2 for 13 in the 3 postseason games played this week. And he takes a called third strike from Pistano. And Mike Scioscia making his way to the mound. They've had the left-hander Hector Santiago getting ready. He's the only left-hander in the Angels bullpen, and he's going to get the call here in the bottom half of the second. Guys like our graphics coordinators Matt Davidowitz and Adam King can depend on great offers on their 2014 North American Truck of the Year Chevy Silverado. The third Angel pitcher of the night, you heard me, Hector Santiago.
You know, it's interesting talking to Mike Scioscia before this series started. He said when I made out the roster for it, Santiago was the guy he was going to use if he needed to get multiple outs. He was the long man out of that bullpen.
Yeah, he's pitched in 30 games and 24 of those were starts. Angels got him in a 3-team trade with the White Sox and Arizona. Mark Trumbo wound up with the Diamondbacks, and Adam Eaton wound up with the White Sox. He came over with Tyler Skaggs, who is since on the DL.
Scioscia matched up with Pistano to get out of the inning and then start this inning off. But Santiago is going to be in there for a while to try to get you where the starter was supposed to get you.
A ball and 2 strikes to Mike Moustakas. The only Royal to hit safely in the 3 postseason games this week heading into this one. It's 2 for 7 in this series.
What's interesting about this relief appearance by Santiago, you really have to think about it if you are Hector, that this is just like a start. You got to go as deep as you can into the ball game.
Jared Weaver hoping that Monday he gets the ball in a game 4. He would work on short rest should the Angels extend the series. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Royals' third baseman. Freese made the play and threw him out again. You see Moustakas going the other way with the infield swung around.
Fastball away, he stays with it. And you're going to see this more and more as they start playing the shifts. You're going to see hitters consciously trying to hit the ball the other way.
Well, you know what's interesting about that is that against right-handed pitching, they played Freese at the shortstop position. But against the left-hander Santiago, they left him closer to his original third base position.
2 up and 2 down here in the second. And the top of the Royals order, and Alcides Escobar, who grounded to second his first time, and he takes a strike. Chevy pitch tracks. 70% fastballs from the Angels left-hander. Line drive right into the glove of Eric Ibar at short. 1-2-3 inning as we head to the third. Kansas City on top, 3-1. Where will you be the next time history is made? Be there for all the action in 2015. Go to MLB.com/season tickets to reserve your seat today. 2014 American League Division Series continuing here on TBS. We move to the third, and Chris Iannetta to face James Shields. Big cut by Iannetta, who homered in game one.
Shields has a better fastball so far in this game than he did in the wild card game.
This was Iannetta off Jason Vargas in game one of this series. Shields jumps ahead 0-2. James Shields trying to get into a little bit of a rhythm here. Gave up the home run in the first. Ibar singled and Shields wild pitched him to second. Then he struck out Freese, broke Josh Hamilton's bat on a fly ball, and struck out Crone to end the inning.
We're trying to stay away from the moniker Big Game James Shields because I'm sure it's got to be very irritating to people in Los Angeles or Anaheim that are Laker fans. There's only one Big Game James for them.
Yeah, only one worthy of that nickname.
Are you guys talking about basketball?
Outside to Iannetta, 2-2. Ahead of myself, a ball and 2 strikes.
Going for the outside corner again with his fastball.
He had a premonition. 2-2.
He likes to use his fastball for a called third strike or to cut it out there, which sets up that power changeup down and into the righties. Breaking balls generally are to use to get ahead or to get inside on the left-handers. But his out pitch is his fastball, or here comes his changeup.
In the air, behind short, Escobar calling and squeezes it for the first out. Very little grass remains uncovered in the Kansas City outfield. And a quick infielder like Escobar, you got fleet outfielders from Gordon to Kane to Aoki in right, and then you got Dyson off the bench. And a lot of the instruction comes from that man right there, Rusty Kuntz, the first base coach and outfield instructor.
You know, when you have a good outfield that can cover a lot of ground, spacing is important. You don't want to overshift and overplay people. You just want to give them the chance to cover the ground all on their own. So they space themselves really well and take advantage of their athleticism to cover all that ground.
In his playing days was known as a great defensive outfielder.
Calhoun cuts right through it. And you see Alex Gordon in left, converted third baseman, and much of the credit to making that change goes to Rusty Kuntz. Tap toward first. Easy play for Hosmer. 2 up and 2 down. In fact, Alex Gordon will tell you, too, that one of the first things that Rusty Kuntz had to work with him on, judging fly balls with a third deck in the big leagues, because he was demoted. He went down to AAA to kind of relearn defensively what he was going to be doing. And then, of course, the drop step and going back on fly balls. And even to this day, Alex Gordon uses batting practice, not as a time to casually shag fly balls, plays them off the bat like it's a game. Mike Trout takes outside, and this was his first at bat, and it got wet. His first hit of the series. He had been 0 for 8.
So you can see the adjustment that's made. He went on 1-0 fastball in, went for a home run. Now this at bat, 2 straight cutters, 1 off the plate, 1 out. Now he's coming back in with a fastball.
Tied him up inside, strike 2. They check down there with Jim Reynolds at first base. That's nasty. Kind of helpless feeling there, Cal, huh?
I think he was thinking about the cutter too again, the breaking ball away. He just didn't pick it up.
Missed at 94. 2-2.
It's not usually part of his repertoire, but the Royals have done a great job with Trout on throwing the ball inside.
Going back for the cutter away again.
Grounded to second, right at Infante. And they got him. Good footwork by Hosmer over there. On a throw a little bit wide by Infante. First 1-2-3 inning for James Shields. By T-Mobile. Thanks for being with us on a Sunday night. A day that's already seen the Baltimore Orioles advance to the American League Championship Series with a sweep of the Detroit Tigers. What do you think about that Tiger lineup? Great sticks. On the offensive side, and you got starters like David Price and Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer, and you get swept in a best-of-5.
It's almost unfathomable to think about it. When Price was traded over to Detroit, everyone in baseball had to feel as though Detroit was the team to beat.
They were built for the playoffs. They had to struggle to get to the playoffs, but once they got there, you want to line up that power pitching and the ability to score runs in many different ways from that lineup.
So credit the Baltimore pitching in that series. Well,
they took advantage of the Tigers' bullpen in the first 2 games of that series. Price gave up a long ball to Cruz today. 4-pitch walk to Aoki to begin the 3rd for Kansas City. Let us check in Atlanta with Casey Stern. Case?
All right, EJ, thank you. This is how it looked when it ended at Comerica. Hernan Perez, the last hope after Buck put what would have been the winning run on first base. Smart move, double play ends it. The Tigers start 3 pitchers who have won Cy Youngs, and in 3 games they go home. First ALCS appearance since '97 for the Orioles. EJ, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Casey.
With Johnny Venters out with his 2nd Tommy John surgery. Right now, Zach Britton, the closer for the Orioles, best left-handed sinker baller in all of baseball.
Power sinker ball, 96, 97 miles an hour late, and even when he falls behind 2-0 or 3-1, he has that pitch to throw right down the middle of the plate. He's had a phenomenal year.
Here's Lorenzo Cain. Runner at first and nobody out in the 3rd, and Kansas City looking to build on a 3-1 lead. Cain singled his first time. Went the other way.
Scouting report on Santiago. Good fastball, excellent change. One of the best pickoff moves in all of baseball. 6 this season.
That has a chance to neutralize the running game. But Kansas City normally doesn't care. And with a lead now, they can play a little bit more free. Take a few more chances.
Cain shortened up as if to bunt and took it. A ball and no strikes.
Remember in the first game, Jared Weaver picked off Aoki in the 1st inning.
Mike Scioscia begins the line of communication. Ionetta behind the plate. Santiago on the hill. And that missed, 2-0.
I think Mike would tell me what those signs are so we could decode them from up here.
Probably very little chance. Although people have a hard time saying no to you, Iron Man. I've been hanging out with you for a few years now. It's something I have noticed. Caught the inside corner. 2-1.
Sosa used to have just touching his nose and his ear. He's added his numbers to that. This pitch right here, Pitch Tracks has it right on the edge. Kane jumps out of the way maybe for effect.
Went inside again, missed. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Pitchers that have great pickoff moves, when they get behind in the count to a hitter, usually they'll use that move to try to help them through the inning.
You know, Santiago whooped against Kansas City back in June. Shut him out through 4 innings, and then the rains came in that one. Count full, 3-2.
Lorenzo obviously taking all these pitches. Very unusual. They come up, swing the bat early. Another fastball in here.
Little nubber that Pujols will grab. 1 down. Let's take a look at tonight's Playmakers presented by the all-new Chrysler 200. Eric Hosmer spent some time on the disabled list after he was hit by a pitch. And since his return, the end of August. Not bad, Iron Man.
He's refound his power stroke, hitting the ball for a high average.
And hitting it hard to all fields, too. Stayed away, missed 1-0.
Aoki had 6 pitches to Lorenzo Cain to try to pick one of them out to steal. That shows you how good of the move that he has.
Moves so good he doesn't even have to give the good one. Or not yet anyway.
Well, many times they're just the throwovers. You get it from the bench. Whether you want to read whether they're going to do something or not. Maybe it'll influence you trying to pitch out. A little coverage on hit and runs.
Oh, by the way, if you're a friend of Eric Hosmer and you did text him or email him or call him after the other night, he did really intend to try to get back to everybody. He told me before the game there's no chance. The phone was blowing up after the game winner in game 2. That's well hit. Center field. Trout back. Looks up. Goodbye. Home run. I think he's going to need a new phone.
Going this way, he'll call you back in November.
It's a 2-0 fastball. He's sitting dead red outside half of the plate. And he does have power to center and to left center field. He is hot right now.
Shake his hand, you get a 3rd-degree burn. 5-1. How about that Kansas City bunch? Fewest home runs in baseball, 95 of them this year. Only team not to hit 100.
What did Eric Hosmer tell you before the game? He said if the wind stays like it is now, no one's going to be able to hit it out to left field.
He had no trouble here in the third. And again, talk about the power to all fields, hitting the ball hard everywhere, Cal. That kid does it.
Yeah, you watch him in BP, he regularly goes to left center field, to center field in batting practice. He has all kinds of power.
And remember, in the wild card game, that's where he went, high off the wall for the triple.
The one that Johnny Gomes and Sam Fold could not come up with.
3 balls, 1 strike to Billy Butler. Had a home run cut, came up empty, and the count's full. Mike Morin is loosening in the Angels bullpen. He would be making his first appearance in this series. Santiago issues his second walk of the inning. Third of the game by Angel pitching. And here's the guy who did the first inning damage for Kansas City, Alex Gordon. Gordon takes a strike. Back in the first inning. 2 outs, bases loaded. Gordon behind in the count. C.J. Wilson a strike away from getting out of a jam. Runner going, and it's Billy Butler, and he just stole second. The element of surprise here at the K. Everybody can steal bases.
Maybe it wasn't a surprise because the Angels decided not to hold him on with Albert Pujols. He looked to the first base coach. Rusty Cooke says, go ahead, take it.
Alex Gordon, seeing that he ran out of the corner of his eye, took that pitch right down the middle to enable him to get to second base. Now he's hitting with an 0-2 count.
Off speed, hit hard to first. Pujols gloves it and takes it himself. And Butler trots over to third.
Billy Butler has scored from first on a double. He's stolen a base.
That's what speed do.
They have to add Billy Butler's picture to that placard.
Well, Mike Morin is going to get the call out of the Angel pen. We're in the third. This will be the 4th Angel pitcher. Eric Hosmer doing damage from long range. Atmosphere here off the charts in Kansas City, where they are hoping for a 3-game sweep of the Angels, the team that had the best record in baseball. Albert Pujols helping his teammate Eric Ibar, who got a face full of dirt on that Billy Butler stolen base. Angels trying to regroup here. Bottom half of the third inning, and they're down 5-1.
Mike Morin's in the game, pitched in 60 games this year, missed some time in August with a left foot laceration, but has impeccable control, good fastball, excellent changeup.
Seeing those 59 innings worked, allowed only 3 home runs. Here is Salvador Perez. Billy Butler standing on third. He walked, stole second, his first stolen base since July of 2012. Morin up high with his first pitch, 1-0. First taste of postseason action for Morin, who went to college at North Carolina. Made his big league debut this year. Ball and a strike. The numbers tell you that. The lead is 4. And with the Royals bullpen, that's been a pretty safe bet. One ball and 2 strikes. James Shields, after surrendering a first-inning home run to Mike Trout, has watched his mates score 5.
It's interesting, you see him not sitting down because it's been such a long inning and the pitching changes. He's just trying to stay loose.
You see him stretching it out in the Kansas City dugout. Butler leads from third with 2 down, and Perez takes down low, 2-2.
What the offense from Kansas City does not want to do is say, okay, we got 5 runs. That's enough. We can shorten this game. We get it to our bullpen. They're going to continue to play their game.
Off speed fooled him, and Perez strikes out to end the third. But Eric Hosmer is in the zone. And if you throw it in the zone, he will do that. 5-1.
Hey, you took all you're getting it though.
I'm moving, right?
Billy, go get in there. Billy, go get in there.
I gotta go.
Billy Butler wearing the mic, and Gerard Dyson wearing him out about stealing that base. His first since 2012, as we pointed out. And we move to the 4th. Kansas City on top, 5-1. If you're James Shields, what are you doing, Ron?
Well, again, we're going back to this shutdown inning. They just got another big home run from Hosmer. You can't let the Angels sniff it at all. They have not hit. Okay, they have not hit in the postseason yet, but they can at any time.
Like right now, Pujols, deep left, back toward that wall, and that's gone. Albert Pujols leads off the 4th with a solo shot, and it's 5-2, Kansas City. And you heard Matt Weiner talk about the cheering section he would have tonight after playing high school ball and junior college ball in Kansas City. 40 tickets left in that suite, and they loved every part of that.
That was just a little cutter, slider, a little variation off the fastball at 89 miles an hour. Hung up over the plate. Now we got enough of it.
So Trout with a solo in the 1st. Pujols solo in the 4th. 3-run game.
And I was thinking that Socha wants to keep his lineup the same, but you got Howie Kendrick that had numbers off of James Shields. I thought that maybe, just maybe, they could move him up into the 2nd spot, then move Trout back to the 3rd and Albert back to the 4th. Just enough variation to set the table for the big guys.
Howie Kendrick going the other way. In the corner in right. Aoki's over there. And that's a foul ball.
Kendrick trying to go back-to-back with Albert.
Clearly foul, but he flirted with the foul pole down there in right.
Looked like he had enough, too.
2 balls, 1 strike to the Angels cleanup hitter. Shields to the plate. 3 balls and a strike. That home run by Pujols, his 19th. in his postseason career. Manny Ramirez leads the way with 29, Bernie Williams 22, Derek Jeter 20, and now Pujols with 19, breaking out of a tie with Mickey Mantle and Reggie Jackson.
You saw Shields in between innings because it was such a long inning, trying to stretch to stay warm. He's come out here a little flat in this inning.
A couple of two-seam fastballs. You don't see that too often from Shields.
Payoff pitch on the way. And he struck him out for the first out.
Excellent changeup there from Shields. He has the ability at 3-2 to be able to throw that for a strike. The full Kendrick.
That's his bread and butter.
Eric Ibar stands in. He came into this game 5 for 19 with a couple of home runs off of Shields, and he singled his first time and advanced to second on a wild pitch. Angels couldn't get him around. This is a team that can score runs. Nobody scored more in baseball than the Angels. And we're only in the fourth.
3 times this year they've come back from a 4-run deficit, so they know they can do it. Five runs have been scored by the Angels in this series so far. 4 of them on solo home runs.
Lionetta and Freese in the opener. Trout and Pujols here in game 3. And this is an Angel team. Keep in mind, in the month of September, they strung together 10 straight wins as they ran away with the American League West. Need a win in game 3 to keep their season alive, and that whole dynamic changes if you win a game 3 here. As there's a bullet to the gap in right center field. Kane tries to cut it off and does glove it, but Ibar standing at second with a 1-out double.
It looks like the bats are waking up a little bit. Good hitting count, low fastball. Eric just lines it to right center. Kane cuts this ball off. No play at second base, but if it gets past him, that's a possible triple with 1 out. That's a big play.
David Freese steps in. Struck out his first time. Freese had 10 home runs in the regular season, knocked in 55 runs, and a runner in scoring position for him out there.
Shields was not sharp in the wild card game against Oakland. He's not sharp again tonight.
Talked about David Freese. Remember that game 6, he had already tripled with the Cardinals down to their last strike. Big home run. And the Cardinals beating the Texas Rangers in 7 in the World Series. Ran it inside and nipped him. And they're at first and second. Dave Island is on his way out to the mound to talk to James Shields.
Well, Island will come out, but there'll be no mercy out for Shields. There was none for C.J. Wilson. This running fastball inside just catches kind of the sleeve of the uniform of Freese.
Now you saw it graze the forearm. You saw the skin move. Albert Pujols homering here to lead off the fourth and cut the lead to 5-2, and the Angels threatening for more. And a guy who's long overdue at the plate in Josh Hamilton. Hamilton swung at the first pitch his first time, broke his bat and flied out to right. He's 0 for 10 in the series. Two on, one out. Nowhere near. 0-1. Hamilton not only 0 for 10 in this series, 0 for his last 17 in postseason play. That's foul at the plate, and quickly Hamilton in an 0-2 hole.
Hamilton in good time has always been an aggressive hitter early on. Looks for the mistake out over the plate. Has power to all fields, but he's going to swing the bat and he will chase the ball out of the strike zone. Except he's going back to the power changeup again.
One ball, two strikes. Hamilton stays alive at the corner of the Angels dugout.
Sometimes good hitting is just having that ability to foul off that pitcher's pitch to stay in the count.
In the dirt, 2-2.
It's very interesting. These hitters for the Angels are doing a lot better job as the game has gone into the fourth inning of laying off that changeup.
Last couple of changeups haven't been near the strike zone where you can wave at them.
And Hamilton works the count full, 3-2.
That's 5 changeups. This at bat here, and I wouldn't be surprised if he throws it on 3-2 here.
Shields had the struggling Hamilton 0-2 in this at bat. Now the count full with 2 on.
That's the best swing Hamilton's had all series long. Fastball on that 3-2 count.
Don Baylor,
Angels hitting coach. Again. Coming back with a changeup again.
Grounded to first. Hosmer goes to second for 1, to first, late. They're at the corners with 2 down. Hamilton can still run. Covers ground in the outfield and got down to first ahead of the relay from Escobar.
Yeah, 2 good plays, though. You want to make sure with a lead that you get that first out. So Hosmer does a nice job of making sure it's there, and Escobar also makes sure that he has control of the ball on the turn to first base.
And a good job by the pitcher, getting over there and making like a first baseman.
Yeah, he stretched it out, did James Shields.
You can try to make that into a double play ball. Get a chance to come off the bag at second base, make a quick throw, and then you're inviting a big inning.
Some stirring in the Kansas City bullpen here in the fourth. It's young Brandon Finnegan, their first-round pick this past June out of TCU. We've seen him in every playoff game this week. Here's C.J. Crone, the designated hitter. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it over by the Angel dugout. Big spot for James Shields here in the fourth. And now Shields ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes, and they will stand here at the K and try to urge this third out of the 4th inning. Angels are just 2 for 25 with men on in this series. And Crone waved at it. Strikeout to end the inning. Pujols went deep. The gap has been cut. It's 5-2.
You know, it was interesting between innings. You can see James Shields talking to Salvador Perez. He's just telling him, you know, I need to get into a rhythm. They've been giving a multitude of signs, not only on Salvador Perez's body, but also digitally giving those signs. And he's like urging him, be a little quicker. I need to get my rhythm going to pitch well. When James Shields pitches well, he pitches quickly.
And he worked his way out of a jam with limited damage. There in the 4th, just the home run by Pujols. Stranded 2 runners. So it's 5-2 as we go to the bottom half of the 4th, and here's Omar Infante. He was caught looking his first time. Swings at the first pitch, little blooper behind second. Howie Kendrick wants it and gloves it. 1 down. Moments ago, we spoke with Angels bench coach Dino Ebel. Dino, just watching that inning, you get the feeling there is no give up in that dugout you're standing in.
Oh, no doubt about it. This team fights, tooth and nail throughout the season, and we got a big hit there by Albert. We had some guys on there, so they're not going to give up. We're going to go down fighting.
So Dino, it looks like all hands are going to be on deck from the bullpen. Is it a matchup for the rest of the way?
Yeah, I would imagine Mike and Butch is going over that each hitter, each inning. So we'll give it to the bullpen. They've done it throughout the season, and we'll go from there.
Much thanks to Dino Ebel for taking a few moments between innings with us as we watch Mike Moustakas take a ball from Mike Morin, the 4th Angel pitcher of this Game 3. Only one infielder on the left side, and that ball is driven to right, and that ball is gone. Mike Moustakas with his 2nd home run of the series.
Looks like a low fastball here. He just goes down and golfs it. Line drive, got out of here quickly.
2 home runs now in this series. Think about Moustakas. He's a guy that was sent to AAA this year to work on his batting stroke.
The Moose call ringing through the Kansas City night. There's nothing theoretical about that big bang off the bat of Moustakas. Oh, 0-2 to Escobar. Back to the top of the Kansas City order.
I know we've been using the number, they only hit 95 home runs this year. Are we right about that?
They have the potential to hit a whole lot more than that. Both Hosmer and Moustakas.
Escobar fouls off the 0-2. Another look. Tell you what, the home runs we've seen tonight, crushed. 4 of them, 2 for each side. Well hit, base hit. Escobar aboard with 1 down. Royals getting some good swings against the rookie.
They really are. He hasn't been able to establish that good changeup of his, and here goes the track meet about to start.
You can feel the confidence building from the Kansas City Royals players. Not much playoff experience beforehand, but what they've gone through in these first 3 games of the playoffs now have got them feeling pretty good about themselves. They're not intimidated right now at all.
Escobar at first is probably the Royals' best base runner. He stole 31 out of 37. Good first to third guy. And the guy at the plate, Aoki, can use that bat. Fernando Salas is up in the Angel bullpen. Took the loss in game 1 when he gave up the Moustakas bomb. Yeah, 1 home run in 6 games, 4 here in the series, 2 of those coming in extra innings. Aoki takes a strike.
Aoki's got that look on his face like he's disappointed he didn't swing at that pitch, but you knew he had to take it. He's trying to give Escobar a chance to steal a bag.
Iannetta doesn't know where it is. And Escobar in scoring position.
Just a little breaking ball down, Cal.
You can't go throw all fastballs just because somebody's on base. You got to mix in the breaking ball, still continue to pitch. Held on to that one a little too tight. But that's the impact speed has. Force you to go to the plate faster, change your release point.
Wow. Well, they could call a balk on that play. He was trying that inside move, but he never got there.
Lost his balance.
He lost his balance. Easily could have called a balk.
And Rusty Kuntz is saying exactly that to Jim Reynolds at first.
That should be a balk just because how ugly it was.
Breaking pitch missed. Take another look.
And you don't think that the speed is upsetting to this Angels team? He never did get that foot on the other side. 29 times this year they stole third base. So you have to be careful wherever they are on the base path.
Aoki waiting on a 2-1. Not even. Aoki has reached twice tonight. Once with a single, once with a walk, has scored twice. Escobar's got the lead at second. Rounded up the middle. Kendrick on the backhand. That throw's going to be late. Escobar will stay at third. He had thoughts. but then retreated to the bag. They're at the corners with one out.
It looked like Salvador Perez was telling him to go when he was on second base. He doesn't run. Ground ball. This is another element of speed right here. Kendrick doesn't have any chance on that backhand.
And you see the way Aoki comes out of the box, running as he's swinging.
Well, we talk all the time about their 153 stolen bases. They had 158 infield hits this year.
And he beat it easily. Now they're at first and third with one out and a run in for the number 3 hitter, Lorenzo Cain. Here's a strike, 0-1. Welcome to the playoffs, Mike Morin, appearing in his first postseason game. Cain to left. Hamilton drifts back near the track. Plenty of room. Escobar will score easily. Aoki tags at first, and he's into second with a slide. Seven to 2, Kansas City.
Now this is almost going to be a foot race between Escobar and Aoki. Remember, the run doesn't count unless he crosses home plate. It looks like Aoki won the battle getting to second base. If he would have been out on that play, the run wouldn't have scored.
October simply pick the winners of head-to-head player matchups between the Angels and Royals for your chance to win a pair of 2015 season tickets for your favorite team. Go to MLB.com/showdown to play now. Boy, you think about the opportunities in a game, Ron and Cal. Angels get a run in the top half of the fourth. Got runners on the corners, can't get them in. Kansas City comes to the plate. Moustakas with the homer. Get some traffic out there, chasing runners in, and now it's a 7-2 game.
It's all about the timely hit. You got to get the big 2-out hit. If you can score those runs, you're back in the game. When you don't, it almost adds momentum right back to the offense from Kansas City.
But you saw that Angels dugout. They look like, hey, this is not a big lead. We're going to come back in this game, and they go out and they put 2 more runs on the board to the Royals.
Fernando Salas is the new Angel pitcher. He gave up the home run to Moustakas in game 1 in extra innings, and he faces Hosmer, who's already homered here in game 3.
I find it interesting with 2 outs here that Salas isn't walking Hosmer to pitch to Butler. The righty-righty matchup seems a little better.
No balls and 2 strikes. Here it was, bottom half of the third. Opposite field.
I'm usually not a fan of flipping the bat, but he hits him so far. Why not?
Aoki is the runner at second. Five Angel pitchers, and we're in the fourth. The starter, C.J. Wilson, didn't get out of the first. Reached out and fouled it off to stay in there. No balls and 2 strikes. Sacco, the bench coach, with Mike Scioscia. Telling us at the between innings interview, if we go down here, we're going to go down fighting and swinging. Kansas City's been relentless, but Salas strikes out Hosmer to end the fourth, but not before the Royals tack on 2 more. One of them on the solo shot by the Moose.
This 2014 ALDS telecast on TBS is brought to you by Viagra and by the Lincoln Motor Company and the first ever MKC.
Kauffman Stadium, one of the oldest in baseball. 6th oldest to be exact. Opened in 1973 and last playoff game was in '85 until now. And James Shields starts Chris Iannetta off with a strike, 0-1. Two runs on 4 hits for the Angels. 2 of those hits have left the yard. Iannetta, slow roller to Infante, who throws him out for the first out. Moments ago, we spoke with the Royals pitching coach, Dave Island. Dave, we saw between innings, James Shields and Salvador Perez. Were they just trying to get on the same page, or what was the crux of that conversation they were having?
Yeah, just pitch selection, pitch sequences, like you said, getting on the same page. We kind of got away from there for a couple of hitters, but they worked it out, so we're back on where we need to be.
Dave, Gore, Dyson, now Butler, is that part of the track team now, Billy Butler?
Well, I guess so. I mean, they say you never see it all in this game. We saw Billy steal a base in the postseason, so you never know what's going to happen from here on out.
Stay tuned. Thank you very much, Dave. Strike to Cole Calhoun, who is 0 for 2 against James Shields tonight.
The first 2 hitters here, James Shields attacked the strike zone with a fastball to get ahead.
To center, and it's going to fall in front of Lorenzo Cain. And a 1-out single for the Angels leadoff hitter, Cole Calhoun. He's 1 out of 3, and that's his 5th hit of the series. I mean, this team came in hitting 141. You take away Cole Calhoun's production in the first 2 games, he was the only guy with more than a hit. And it brings up Mike Trout. And Jeff Nelson has called time.
Just needed some extra baseballs.
High marks for creativity here at the K. Royals lead it 7-2. Mike Trout homered his first time. Into the water fountain. Ooh, that ball almost got away as Shields threw over to first. They call that the water spectacular out there. 322 feet wide, spanning the outfield, and Trout put one in the drink. He grounded out his 2nd time in the 3rd. There's another high throw over.
No reason to throw here. Game 7-2. Calhoun's not going anywhere with Trout up. They're looking for the 2-run bomb.
Ball and no strikes. Light rain beginning to fall here at Kauffman Stadium.
Both Angels home runs today. Pujols and Trout have come on a 1-0 count from Shields.
Inside, almost hit him. 2-0. Here's Trout's at bat in the first, no doubt. We're talking to Dave Island about what Perez and Shields were trying to do and get in the rhythm and be on the same page, and we're not seeing it here so far in the fifth. He did retire Iannetta on a grounder, and then Calhoun singled.
Well, Pujols up next. It's almost, you have to throw a 2-0 fastball.
Up and in on Trout. Had to spin out of the way, 3-0. And Shields snapped the ball back on the throw from Perez.
He shook him off, 3 or 4 times to get to a fastball in, four-seamer in. He wanted to make sure he got it in, but rushed his body to the plate. His arm dragged a little bit, went up and in.
The 3-0 over for a strike, 3-1. Trout with 36 home runs in the regular season, 4th in the American League, and knocked in an AL high 111.
With the count as such and the score as such, this ought to be a good pitch for him to hit.
On the ground, foul past third. So Shields battling back.
Fastball or changeup here, Ronnie?
I think he's going to challenge him with a fastball with Pujols up next.
Changeup.
Ball 4 to Trout. They're at first and second for Pujols.
The reason I don't like that pitch to Trout is Trout has such a great eye at the plate. He's not going to swing in anything in the dirt. That was the time that you had the challenge with the 5-run lead.
Chevy pitch tracks. Tonight's arsenal, 70% Swifties. And has thrown the change 24% of the time. It's the most uncomfortable 5-run lead a pitcher can have.
No rhythm for Shields. And facing a guy in his career has hit over 400, 411 with runners in scoring position.
Swinging at the first pitch. Over there by the right field line and out of play. Aoki gave it a look over there by the tarp. In the 4th inning, this was Pujols. No mistake. "28 home runs in the regular season. And homering in the 4th. Both Angel runs have come via the long ball. Trout and Pujols as Albert bats with 2 on and 1 out. Once again, the left-hander Brandon Finnegan is up and throwing in the Kansas City bullpen as Shields works here in the 5th.
Interesting 3 straight fastballs there by Shields to Pujols.
Two balls and 2 strikes with runners in scoring position in this series. Angels 1 out of 18. The guy at the plate, Albert Pujols, has that hit. It came in game 2 and tied the game, which went 11 innings. with the Royals getting the Hosmer homer to win it. Just stayed alive, 2-2.
Change up down and in. Albert just gets a little piece of that. Ordinarily, you hit it off your front foot. That got him on the back foot.
Right around the shin. For an offensive powerhouse, those are surprising numbers on the Angels.
It's a little better looking inside move, Ron.
On balance.
Much more stylish. Two-two. Toward left center field. Kane diving. He made the catch. Lorenzo Kane with another sparkling play by the Kansas City defense.
Albert Pujols pointing to the bench and to his manager, Mike Scioscia, to maybe challenge that play. He's trying to get an answer.
No need.
There's nothing to challenge. He's looking for an umpire to make a call. He didn't know what to do. Did Cole Calhoun. Finally, he gets his answer.
That's a hard one from a runner's perspective because you forget that's the third base umpire, the umpire down the line that's making that call on that angle. You almost want to look in somewhere in the vicinity of the catch to find the umpire. Then you realize you got to look down the line.
Howie Kendrick takes a strike. They just showed the play again on the big board here at Kauffman Stadium, and it got a similar reaction to when it happened live.
Remember, coming into this game, Kendrick was 14 for 26 off Shields.
Well hit to center. Kane charging again, and he did it again! Unbelievable. They're raising Kane here in Kansas City. It is 7-2. Will Mike Trout take home the MVP? See projections for every year-end award with the Team Stream app from Bleacher Report. Download the Team Stream for your iPad, iPhone, or Android device today. Bottom half of the fifth inning here in Kansas City. Jason Grilli, pitcher number 6 for Mike Scioscia tonight. This place still buzzing over Lorenzo Kane. We'll show you those plays again in just a second. Billy Butler fouls it back. Ball and a strike. Butler has walked twice and stolen a base. Let me repeat that. Butler has walked twice and stolen a base. It was his first bag since July of 2012. So stolen bases aren't just for the fast guys in there. Two and one. You talk about some leather. You talk about some speed on that team and guys who can flash those gloves. Man alive. Missed inside the Butler, 3-1.
I came into this series talking on the open, our first game, about the center fielder for the Angels, Mike Trout. We're going to end up talking about the center field play of the Kansas City Royals, Kane and Dyson.
Yeah, whether it's Kane or Dyson with the throw in game 2. And you can see plays. You might see a guy make 2 great plays in a game, but on back-to-back hitters, that ball's hit to right center field. Pretty well hit. But at the track, it's Cole Calhoun. 1 down. So here's Kane with Pujols first. And then off of Kendrick to end the inning. I mean, just moments apart, sensational plays by the same guy.
Yeah, Pujols had a great at bat, fought that one off to center field. He tracked it down and made the play. The second one, what a great read, a low line drive that he just comes in with all the confidence in the world and catches it. Fantastic plays.
Making a happy man out of James Shields, that's for sure. Kept the game at 7-2. Here's Alex Gordon. Back to the first inning, cleared the bases with a double off the wall. And that was all we would see of C.J. Wilson. He was the Angels starter in this one. Had 2 on, 2 out when he walked Billy Butler, who was a strike away from retiring Gordon, and gave up the 3-run double. And that was the end of his night. Nice breaking pitch by Grilly. 0-2. Eric Hosmer, a 2-run homer in the third. Homering for the second time in this series and in consecutive games. Another 0-2 from Grilly to Gordon, and he got him looking for the second out. Let us check in with Matt Weiner. Matty.
Yeah, EJ, Salvador Perez now up for the Kansas City Royals. Remember back in Game 2, there was a scary moment for Kansas City when Josh Hamilton's backswing struck Perez on the helmet and the side of the head. I spoke to him today. He said he awoke with a headache yesterday, but otherwise he is fine. You may recall baseball, like a lot of sports, has a concussion protocol they have to follow. They did not follow it in this case because it was determined on the field that there was no concussion. Perez is okay, but he made a point to note the size of Hamilton's bat. It's a 35-inch bat that Hamilton uses. We both agree that next time he gets in the way of a backswing, he should probably choose a smaller Angel.
Thank you very much, Matt. In the air to center, here comes Mike Trout on the dead run and makes the play for the third out. 1-2-3 inning as we head to the 6th. Royals leading by 5. Kansas City's Power and Light District, where fans who couldn't be among the 38,000 or so here at the K are enjoying every minute of this one. The Royals trying to punch their ticket to the American League Championship Series to face the Baltimore Orioles. Orioles dispatching the Tigers in a sweep today in Detroit. James Shields never really in a rhythm on here. His defense has bailed him out. Had a lot of base runners out there and has gotten out of a couple of jams, giving up a long ball to Mike Trout and Albert Pujols. A lot of single and a double to the guy at the plate now, leading off the 6th, Eric Ibar, who's hit him well in his career. And Ibar is 3 for 3. So a leadoff single here in the 6th. Let's take a look at tonight's Goodyear Superior performance. Catch that Giants game? How about that? Playing well into the night. Brandon Belt delivered the game winner, but how about Yusmero Petit? As our one of our associate directors, Steve Timlin, said, he had a quality start out of the bullpen. He went 6 innings out of the pen and baffled the Washington Nationals. Here's David Freese. No balls and 1 strike. That didn't fool, 0-2.
Well, in the wild card game, Shields kind of just barely got through 5 and got in trouble in the 6th. It's almost like we're all waiting for him to get it going, but maybe he won't get it going today.
He's grinding through. He's introduced his curveball the last couple of innings. A lot of shaking off. Not in sync like they normally are.
Reached out and tapped it foul. And a smooth play made by the always smooth fielding Gary DiSarcina down there in the third base coach's box. He could pick him at short for the Angels for a dozen years. Snap throw back to first, and Ibar is back.
It was almost a design play right there. An 0-2 count. Saw Perez call for the fastball away. Once it off the plate, he was going to make that snap throw right from the get-go.
He also, right before he threw that, he rubbed his right leg, letting Hosmer know he was coming down. See that? Just letting him know.
Got him to Fish. 1 down. Second time Shields has struck out Freese tonight. You mentioned that wild card game in the 6th inning of that one, Ron, and against Oakland, he gave up a single to Fold, walked Donaldson, and that's in a 1-run game at the time, and that's when Ned Yost comes out and inserts Ventura, who gives up a bomb to Brandon Moss. Josh Hamilton swings and misses. There is Ventura, who showed no ill effects from that rough spot in the wild card game. He was lights out the other night in game 2.
Such an easy 101 mile an hour.
Josh Hamilton waiting on a 1-1 from James Shields with Ibar leading at first. In the air to right center field. Kane calls. 2 down. Josh Hamilton 0 for 12 in the series.
He looks a little bit better tonight. He's taking some decent swings. Laid off some other pitches in the dirt, but he's just not quite catching up. That was a slider right there up in the strike zone. A mistake pitch. Hit that a little on the label.
Once upon a time, make a mistake to Josh Hamilton and you'd pay for it about 450 feet away.
It's a timing issue. And Mike Scioscia still looking at the 7-hole down there. It's worth the gamble to get him going.
C.J. Crone, the designated hitter, takes down low. He struck out twice in 2 trips.
He had a big at-bat his last time up, though, in the 4th with a couple on. Swung at 3 pitches out of the strike zone.
Yeah, that's the inning that Pujols had homered, and the Angels are trying to string something together and left him at the corners. Ball and a strike. Those 2 have homered tonight, accounting for both of the Angels' runs. Ibar led off the inning with his 3rd hit of the night. Angels haven't moved him yet. That's outside. 3-1.
Same pitch he threw him on the 1-0 pitch. So to come back with the 2-1. This time he lays off.
Runner going. Fouled back. Shields has only had one 1-2-3 inning. That came in the 3rd when he retired Iannetta, Calhoun, and Trout. About to deliver his 100th pitch. Here in Game 3, he threw 88 in the wild card game. Again, Crone fouls it off.
Have an interesting choice if the Royals are able to hold on tonight. Is Shields your #1 pitcher, start Game 1, or do you go with the young kid Ventura? It's going to be a tough call.
The ALCS beginning Friday in Baltimore. Runner going on the 3-2, pitch down low, runners at 1st and 2nd.
Took the chance on that 3-2 changeup again. Got to get closer to the strike zone to get a swing.
Well, Dave Hyland out there to have a word with Shields as Brandon Finnegan continues. He's well loosened up by now. He's been up a few times.
You're probably saying to yourself, why would Shields make that choice, a 3-2 changeup? Well, the at bat before, Crone went out of the strike zone 3 times, so he thought he'd be able to get him to swing at that pitch.
You got a guy at the plate now, Iannetta, who's homered in this series. Angels down 5.
And that's normally his go-to pitch. He can throw that over anytime he wants. Sometimes he can't find the feel on a breaking ball. It takes him a little while to find that, and maybe control with the fastball. But normally he has that changeup.
You saw the runners, Ibar and Crone. Big cut, 0-1 to Iannetta. Iannetta 1 for 10 in the series, and as I've said, that one left the yard in Anaheim in Game 1. Breaking pitch, fooled him. 0-2.
The slider for the first one came back with a curveball. Bigger break, slower.
Time is called by Jeff Nelson.
Going with a curveball again.
Perez kept it in front. A ball and 2 strikes.
It seems like he hadn't had trouble getting 0-2. Seems like putting him away has been the problem.
In the last 2 seasons, Salvador Perez has caught more innings than anyone in baseball. These catchers get banged up this time of year.
You saw the little wince there, and there is strike 3 to Iannetta. James Shields pumped up. Middle of the 6th, 7-2.
Take a sneak peek inside the life with Yasiel Puig and Bleacher Report. Brought to you by Samsung. Head to bleacherreport.com/thelife.
Bottom half of the 6th here in Kansas City. 7th Angel pitcher is on, Kevin Jepson. If we gave you no other details on the game but that as you join us, You would be able to tell that it's been Kansas City's night to this point. 7th pitcher in the 6th inning. 2 balls and no strikes to Omar Infante.
You see Jepson's numbers during the season. He's been very durable for this Angels staff, but he gave up the home run to Hosmer in Game 2.
Three and 0. Six innings in the books for James Shields.
He's telling Lorenzo Cain, car, dinner, house, whatever you need. I got it.
Cain says, how about D? All of the above. Sparkling defensive plays on back-to-back hitters by Cain. And so Shields works 6 innings. Infante 0 for 10 in the series. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It's almost like the trainer's working on Lorenzo Cain there, like he's suffering from headaches or something.
We're jarring in the shoulder and the neck from those dives.
Yep.
That's the trainer, Nick Kenny. And Infante draws a walk to lead off the bottom half of the 6th. Time for Records and Milestones, presented by Jim Beam. 3 extra inning games in a single postseason. Kansas City on that list, and they're the only team to win 3 consecutive extra inning games in the postseason.
All the other teams won the World Series.
By the way, for more records and milestones, check out BleacherReport.com. Chris Iannetta, Kevin Jepson. Discussing Mike Moustakas, who earlier in this one, bottom half of the 4th, with 1 out, went deep again, 2nd time in this series. We haven't seen Corey Rasmus in this series yet, but he's loosening in the Angel bullpen. Moustakas waiting on a 1-0. Shallow left. Josh Hamilton calls and makes the play. Infante stays at first with 1 down. Albert Pujols, Angels first baseman, future Hall of Famer, and here in Kansas City. Played high school ball and junior college ball, and the legend grew from there. Escobar on the ground, into left field, base hit. Just out of the reach of Freese and Ibar. His 2nd hit of the night.
Looks like a first pitch fastball, trying to get in on him. Pulls his hands in, puts a hard ground ball right in the right spot.
What's interesting is that because of the threat of his speed, Freese has to play even with the bag almost in. That's why that ball got by him.
And they will do it even with a lead of 7-2. So it's much easier to pass to the third baseman, in this case, David.
Here's Nori Aoki, who came into this game 1 for 13 in the Royals' 3 postseason games this week, but he's gotten a couple of hits and a walk and scored twice in this one. One thing the Angels cannot afford is to let Kansas City tack anything else on at this point. 3 innings to go. And a lockdown Kansas City bullpen waiting to take part in this one. Upstairs 2-0. And again, Iannetta with words for Jepson.
Jepson's one of their more veteran pitchers. It's interesting that Iannetta has to go out and talk to him, but he's been behind every hitter.
Three in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth for the Royals as they try to move on to the ALCS against Baltimore. Three 3-0 to the Kansas City right fielder. There has never been a team that sported the best record in the majors then gets swept in the division series. The Angels are on the brink. The automatic is over, 3-1. '98 wins, 64 losses. But 2 home losses to the Royals and now down 5 here in Kansas City.
Do you start the runners here, Ron?
Well, I open you up. Yes, I would. Lots of speed.
Good contact hitter at the plate.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Not going. Grounded up the middle, base hit. Infante around third. He'll score. They throw behind Escobar, but he's back in. And it's 8-2 Kansas City.
They don't start the runners, but they still get the ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Infante scores. See the play by Trout, almost getting Escobar going back to second.
Escobar was looking to see which direction Trout would throw the ball. If he threw it to home, he was going to keep going.
It's like Corey Rasmus coming in from the bullpen for the Angels. It's a 6-run game. Postseason's been dynamite so far, and the suspense continues tomorrow on FS1 and MLB Network, featuring NLDS Game 3 between the Nationals and Giants on MLB Network, followed by Game 3 of the Dodgers and Cardinals on Fox Sports 1. Check your local listings and do not miss the action. Corey Rasmus, the 8th pitcher.
See his numbers from this season. Was traded last year when Atlanta was making their run. They needed a left-hander in their bullpen. They got Scott Downs. Rasmus came to the Angels.
Gerard Dyson with the need for speed. Pinch running for Aoki, who singled for the 3rd time tonight. Kansas City scored more than 100 fewer runs than the Angels in the regular season. They've scored 8 tonight. The Angels have scored 5 in the series, which is what they average per game.
5 in 28 innings. Billy Butler looking at the chart.
Escobar at second. The pinch runner Dyson at first. Lorenzo Cain waiting on a 1-0 from Corey Rasmus. Down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Blake Scioscia looking for answers coming into game 3. Hasn't found many.
The Angels don't come back since their World Series win in 2002. Since then, they'll be 10-22 under Scioscia in the postseason.
Big cut. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's about the only thing Lorenzo hasn't done right tonight. Swing at that 2-0 pitch in the dirt.
Rasmus to the plate. Tap towards second. There's 1. That's all they'll get. Runners at first and third. Cain's got great speed. Dyson got down to second in a hurry and disrupted things for Ibar.
Cain waits a little bit too long, gets jammed on the fastball. No chance for the double play. Ibar's heads up enough to look immediately to third to see if he can catch Escobar rounding third.
And here's Eric Hosmer. His 2-run shot in game 2 in the 11th inning was the big blow and another extra inning win for the Royals. He did it again in the 3rd here in game 3. Matt, what you got?
Well, AJ, you may recall I was able to present Eric Hosmer with that home run ball after the game 2 win. I asked him today, what's become of that baseball? He said the Royals are mounting it on a plaque for him, and as for where it'll wind up, he says he's going to give it to his folks.
It was a moment, obviously, he will never forget. Kansas City baseball fans will never forget. Ball and a strike. So he's homered and he's struck out twice in this one. Escobar, the runner, at third. Cain at first. Rasmus was a draft selection by the Braves in 2006. Made 3 appearances with Atlanta in 2013 and traded to the Angels for Scott Downs. Pitched in 30 games this year, made 6 starts.
He's got a good live fastball. 95 miles an hour. Change up around 86. And he's thrown it interchangeably in different counts.
Blake Scioscia's troops have 9 outs left. There's 6 runs down. 2-2. Missed with a breaking pitch, full count. Hosmer stays alive, 3 balls, 2 strikes. As Kane, who was on the move on the 3-2 pitch, retreats to first.
So you get a 3-2 change-up if you're Hosmer, and you foul it off. So you're thinking, okay, 95 or 85. Which one do I sit on?
Yeah, Rasmus hasn't been able to get his curveball over.
So it's either fastball or change-up here. He calls for a curveball, shakes to a change.
Kane can again get a running start at first. There he goes. Here's the pitch. It's low and the bases are loaded. Brings Billy Butler to the plate. Here he was in the first inning, scoring from first on the 3-run double by Gordon, and then Butler stealing the bag in the third for the first time since 2012. Look at this. They're making signs on the run here in Kansas City.
Making it happen with his legs. He'd like to make it happen with his bat right now, though.
Ball 0-1 on the strike called.
Pretty good numbers with the bases loaded for his career.
It was a 9-home run, 66 RBI regular season for Butler. And he's behind 0-2. Escobar, Kane, and Hosmer, your runners.
Three straight sliders there from Rasmus to Butler.
Billy Butler trying to break open an 8-2 game here in the 6th. Pretty good cut, 0-2.
The pitch to get him out here would be the fastball in. Looked like a guy in there that wanted the fastball in, shaking off to a slider.
The crowd with a chant of Billy, Kansas City version of Rudy, I guess it sounded like.
Another 0-2. Got him with a breaking pitch, and the Royals leave the bases loaded, but they do add another run here in the 6th. We move to the 7th. Kansas City 8, Angels 2. On TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Thanks for being with us on TBS tonight on a day the Orioles made a clean sweep of the Tigers, so they're in the ALCS. Kansas City trying to join them Gerard Dyson, the new center fielder. Lorenzo Cain moves from center to right. And Kelvin Herrera is on to pitch. He faces the top of the Angels order and Cole Calhoun and throws him a strike. Game one of this series, Herrera left. He walked freeze and had some trouble with a forearm running.
Yeah, and you weren't sure if he was going to come back, but Ned Yost said he was ready to pitch tonight, and here he is. Only gave up 11 earned runs in those 70 innings this year, 70 appearances.
Popped him up over by the Angels dugout. Not a play. And here was that sequence the other night.
Something just did not feel right for Kelvin. And that's when Perez signaled to the bench. He's such a big part of this team. Seeing him get through this inning might be the best thing that happens in this game for the Royals.
He has owned the 7th inning for Ned Yost this season. So James Shields battles his way through 6 innings in this one. Gives up 6 hits, couple of home runs, walked 2, struck out 6. And there is a strike 3 called to Cole Calhoun.
Calhoun thought that ball was outside, and on the pitch tracks it shows it outside.
At 101, so any doubt with his arms not feeling good. That's a good indicator.
Ball to Mike Trout. Jump started the Angel offense with a solo home run in the first, giving the Angels their first lead of the series, but it didn't last long, as KC responded with 3 in their half and chased C.J. Wilson, the Angels starter.
When you talk about Herrera, those 3 guys out of that bullpen, Herrera, Davis, and Holland, have appeared in games 25 times this year. 21 of them, they did not give up a run. He has not given up a home run all season long.
Not since last summer. 1-1. Sounded like he broke his bat. A little looper to second. 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th. Yes, the Angels start stringing some hits together. That could be the last at bat of the 2014 campaign for Mike Trout. Who we expect will be named the American League MVP. It's been a great regular season. It's been a less than memorable postseason debut for Trout.
I'll tell you, Herrera's just wild enough to make you a little afraid in that batter's box.
You pretty much know what you're getting. 92% fastballs.
That one at 98.
The only problem, it's up there around 98 to 102. Come back with a changeup right here, though.
Lined foul past third. Kansas City bullpen in this series. 9 2/3 innings of work. 2 hits. That's it. Pujols hangs in there and then steps a little gingerly around the plate. Thing about Herrera in last season, his first 34 appearances, about 33 innings or so, he gave up 9 home runs.
Don't know what to make of that. Were they all on changeups in around 90?
Rain beginning to fall here as Herrera deals low and in the dirt.
Well, you do have to have the threat of your secondary pitches. And his changeup is hard at 90 miles an hour, but it's still 10 miles an hour different from his fastball. And as you can see, he's got a pretty good breaking ball when he uses it.
Popped him up behind second. Kane through the raindrops. Makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 inning for Herrera and the Royals. They're stretching and they're screaming in Kansas City. Rain falling as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning with Kansas City leading the Angels 8-2, trying to sweep their way into the American League Championship Series. Ernie Johnson, Cal Ripken, Ron Darling back at you. And if you had to boil it down, what's this game all about, Ron?
Well, for me, when I look at it, it's the 2 successive catches by Lorenzo Cain in center field. It looked like the Angels were going to get back in this game. Pujols, he caught it going to his right, caught the other one coming in off Kendrick. I think that was the big difference in the game.
Yeah, they continue to make the big pitch when they have to. Shields didn't have his best stuff. The defense continues to make big plays, and they're getting big, timely hits, just like they did in the other 2 games.
And of course, Ronnie, you talk about Lorenzo Cain doing this on back-to-back hitters. Think about Alex Gordon, first inning, 2 strikes, bases loaded, clears them with a double after the Angels had taken their first lead of the series on the home run by Trout in the first.
You know, the Angels spent a lot of money on C.J. Wilson as a free agent, and they only got 2/3 of an inning out of him tonight.
You see it's coming down pretty good here now, folks. Umpires did meet for a short time in between innings, but here we go in the bottom half of the 7th, and here's Gordon, who came up with that huge 3-run double in the first. And that chased C.J. Wilson, the Angels starter, after 2/3 of an inning. All on a strike. Corey Rasmus, the 8th Angel pitcher used by Mike Scioscia here in Game 3.
I'm impressed with him. He's got 4 good pitches: fastball, curve, slider, and change.
That hit his bat. Ball and 2 strikes.
That ball hit the end of his bat, didn't it? The knob.
It's hard to hit that knob of the bat and not hit your hand. No signs of it hitting his hand, though.
The rain relenting now. They're in the bottom half of the 7th. In the air behind second. Who wants it? Howie Kendrick does. 1 down. So we're taking on a little water here in the booth, but nothing big.
I just thought you were cleaning things up.
I think the heavy stuff is pretty much passed us by. There we go.
Very nice, sir.
Anything I can do for you there, Iron Man? You all good, Ronnie?
No, I'm good, yeah.
Little tea?
No.
Here's Salvador Perez. Perez is 0 for 3. There's a bullet foul. Everybody look out down there. Monday is a work day in Kansas City. Not going to be a huge one for productivity, I'm not thinking. Will everyone please get away from the water cooler and stop talking about the game? Another pop-up. And David Freese is called off at the last moment by Ibar for the second out.
You know, Ernie, you were talking about things that have made this series kind of special. I think one thing, too, Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas were supposed to be the cornerstones of this organization moving forward. They were going to be the two great stars with Alex Gordon and the Billy Butlers. They were going to get them at the postseason play. And they played better in the postseason than maybe they did during the regular season.
Yeah, Moustakas, a .212 hitter in the regular season. He's on deck. Infante is up there. Walked his last time, still looking for his first hit in this series. He's 0 for 10. And Hosmer was hit by a pitch earlier this year, missed some time as Billy Butler took over at first while there's a strike to Infante.
Having endured many rebuilding processes or trying to get good, Hosmer and Moustakas will have to start to understand it's easier playing on a winner. There's expectations for you to kind of turn it around and a lot of pressure for you to put up big numbers. But when everyone starts contributing, you can settle in and be in your roles.
In the air near the line and right. Calhoun in foul territory. That is a 1-2-3 bottom half of the seventh. I will be tardy tomorrow. See, that's the only time you ever use that word, really, when you're trying to tell your teacher I was a little late. I think you'll be forgiven. We license gear for every postseason team at the MLB.com shop. Top of the eighth. Angels need a big-time rally here in Game 3 or their season will end, and Wade Davis is on. He's been the eighth inning guy. I've already seen Kelvin Herrera, who dominates the seventh.
Can make the argument that this year Davis was the best eighth inning guy in the game. Another pitcher, Royals pitcher out of that bullpen that did not give up a home run this year.
Cleanup hitter Howie Kendrick leading it off here in the eighth. He's 0 for 3 and just 1 for 12 in the series. Angels have had a few more chances in this game. Got a couple of home runs, had some traffic out there, just could not get a hit when they needed it. That's well hit by Kendrick to the gap in right center field, and it's going to roll to the wall. Kane got a glove on it. And Kendrick standing at second with a leadoff double here in the eighth.
Fastball away. Kendrick set up to hit the ball to right center field. Drives it into right center field for a double. I was just thinking, Ronnie, the equivalent of an 8th inning setup man coming in like a closer coming in for an inning worth of work. There's not a whole lot of adrenaline, you know, in the 6-run lead.
There should be enough, though, in pitching in a deciding game, you know? But I know what you're saying. These guys are adrenaline junkies, and sometimes they come in games with big leads. I've seen it happen to 8th inning guys and closers. They're not as sharp.
Eric Ibar was 3 out of 3 against James Shields. And he takes low from Wade Davis. Tapper. Davis has to get over there, and it's late. Ibar beats it out. They're at first and third with nobody out here in the 8th.
It's almost the equivalent of what a bunt would be. But when it's a full swing, you got a pitcher that has a chance to beat the play over there, but not that time.
What's interesting about that play is that really the only way you can make it is the second baseman makes that play with a shovel.
Here's David Freese. Struck out twice, hit by a pitch in the 4th. Ooh, what a cut, 0-1. The biggest comeback of the season for the Angels is when they were down 5 back in June against the White Sox. They trailed by 6 here in the 8th in Game 3. Davis is ahead 0-2. James Shields started and went 6. Gave up a couple of home runs to Trout and Pujols. Herrera came on for a 1-2-3 7th. And the first 2 hitters have gotten on here in the 8th against Davis. Freese behind 0-2.
Good pass at that 0-2 pitch right there. Fastball, he didn't get up high enough. David Freese likes the ball out over the plate, blew up.
We await another 0-2, and off the end of the bat, Freese stayed alive. Almost took that out of Perez's mitt.
It's not a count you want to be in when you got Wade Davis on the mound.
Runner going, strike 3. Freese goes down for the first out as Ibar swipes second.
Well, just the fastball that he throws right by Freese. And Ibar has been around long enough. He could tell that Davis wasn't paying any attention to him at first base.
And here's Josh Hamilton. 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 12 in the series. Last year in his first year with the club, Davis started 24 games. He started a lot of games for Joe Madden in Tampa Bay. On the ground to first. That's going to score a run. Hosmer makes the play. And it's 8-3. Now with 2 out here in the 8th. But what Davis brought over here and what James Shields brought over here, postseason experience and coming from a winner that they had in Tampa Bay.
And I think for Davis, he always wanted to be a starter in Tampa Bay. They put him in the bullpen. Once he came over here, it was like he was happier being in the bullpen because that's been a better role for him than it was as a starter.
You can't underestimate when you do build a winner, adding certain pieces to the pie that have already understood what winning's about. And changes the attitude, changes the hope inside the clubhouse. Shields and Davis have both done that.
A run in here in the 8th, cutting the deficit to 5 for the Angels as C.J. Crone, the DH, fouls it back.
Look at those numbers, including the postseason. 1 for 29 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
A ball and 2 strikes.
Crone had a great at bat against Davis earlier on. And Aoki made that one of his 2 sort of circus catches out there on the warning track.
Crone has walked, struck out twice. And he goes down swinging for the 3rd time. Middle of the 8th. 5-run lead for Kansas City.
Hi, I'm Ned Yost of the Kansas City Royals. Boy, I'd sure love to be out there with you guys today, but we're a little tied up right now. This is my honor and my privilege to say, drivers, start your engines.
NASCAR race in Kansas City, Kansas today, not far from here in Kansas City, Missouri, and the honor of starting that race given to Ned Yost, the Royals manager, is a big fan of that sport. Had a great friendship with the late Dale Earnhardt. That's why he wears number 3. He's got a team that puts the pedal to the metal, that's for sure. Bottom half of the 8th inning. Mike Moustakas going to lead it off. He's homered in this game for the 2nd time in the series. Royals 8, Angels 3, bottom 8. Boy, he hit that ball a ton, but it's foul.
You think Mike Moustakas is a low ball hitter, Cal? I mean, he loves the ball down.
I was just thinking it's great to get hot in the playoffs. You want to be feeling really good. And he looks really comfortable right now.
Right into the shift as Ibar was playing on that side. 1 down. Kansas City Royals are 3 outs away. And Salvador Perez feeling loose.
55-run lead helps you feel a little loose too.
Top of the order now, and Alcides Escobar.
We're watching that Ned Yost telling NASCAR drivers to start their engines. Maybe Alex Gordon heard that too, because he really started the Royals engines, didn't he, in the 1st inning?
Cleared the bases, which were loaded, with a double off the wall. It's like Greg Holland getting loose out there in the Kansas City pen. A writer for the Kansas City Star, Blair Kirchhoff, wrote a nice column today. When you look at a team and think, hey, maybe the planets are aligning for a team, and he looked back at 1985 with Brett Saberhagen and compared it with this year with Greg Holland, because you know Holland and his wife Lacey gave birth to their first child, Nash Gregory, and then he just did get to the ballpark in Anaheim. In fact, he was at the ballpark late after being in North Carolina for that birth. Well, they look back at 1985, Saberhagen had his first child the night before he pitched Game 7, and they won Game 7 over the Cardinals. Strike 3 called to Escobar. But the story goes on. Saberhagen's son, Drew, would later attend Western Carolina University in Cullowhee, North Carolina, where one of his teammates was, wait for it, Greg Holland. There are just some of those things that make you think the stars are in alignment. Here's Gerard Dyson on the ground to second. Kendrick will throw him out by a step, and we are going to the ninth. Kansas City 79-1 when they take a lead into the ninth inning. 2014 American League Division Series coverage on TBS, presented by T-Mobile.
This 2014 ALDS telecast on TBS is brought to you by the Jaguar Innovation Lab. Plan your escape. By Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats. By Edward Jones, a big financial services firm that doesn't act that way. And by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Here's to Budweiser, here's to baseball.
Welcome back to Kansas City. Tonight's bullpen comparison presented by the Lincoln Motor Company. Greg Holland, 46 out of 48, and has saved both games in this division series. Not a save opportunity here, working with an 8-3 lead as Hank Conger steps in to pinch hit for Chris Iannetta.
Holland has pitched 5 innings against the Angels this year. 11 Ks, no hits, no walks. Owns them.
Oh, 2. One of the highlights of Conger's year last season was hitting the ball on Utah Street in Baltimore. Does not look like the Angels will be making a trip there for the ALCS. Ned Yost, Dave Island, the Royals can taste it. 2 outs away. If anybody told you they saw this coming, don't believe it. Not a Kansas City win in the series, mind you, but being on the brink of a 3-game sweep of the team with the best record in baseball. Here's Calhoun. Calhoun with another hit in this game has been the Angels' most effective hitter in this series. Well, for the most part, the rest of the offense went into the deep freeze, especially Josh Hamilton.
Well, they've made it look pretty easy in this series, but remember, they were down twice against the Oakland A's in that wild card game in the 9th inning and the 12th.
They were down 7-3 in the 8th with John Lester on the mound against them. Two balls and 2 strikes. Eric Hosmer, huge home run in game 2. Went deep again in game 3. Lorenzo Cain sparkling on the defensive side. Tell you what, Calhoun's a tough hitter.
He fights off the pitches, stays right in there.
He's had the best series for any of the Angels.
Good all-around player, too.
C.J. Wilson, a strike away from getting out of the first unscathed. And then Alex Gordon cleared the bases with a double and ended the left-hander's night.
It'll be the longest offseason he's ever had.
Up the middle, look at Infante with the bare hand.
I know they've had a good defensive series, but that's just showing off.
I think they're waiting for the Angel dugout to yell, "Uncle." 1 out away.
That ball still hit pretty hard. Deflected at the mound, and then gets to him. He's got confidence. He can just grab it right out of the air with his bare hand.
Rain falling and nobody feels it. Here's Trout.
You came into this series feeling like this might be a coronation of the game's best player. He might end up making the last out for the season for the Angels.
He struck out to end game 2. He's behind 0-2 here in game 3. He did homer his first trip tonight, but he's just 1 for 11 in the series, and George Brett is ready to celebrate along with 38,000 here at the K. Next stop, Baltimore. The Royals will play in the American League Championship Series. This was a team that was 50-50 through 100 games this season. Then went on a tear in which they won 22 out of 27. They battled Detroit for the lead in the AL Central. Wound up the #1 wild card. And now they square off with the Baltimore Orioles, against whom they took 4 of 7 in the regular season. The ALCS beginning Friday at Camden Yards.
They started this postseason with 7 different players stealing 7 bags against the Oakland Athletics. They did it with their defense, especially in the outfield, where they seemed to catch everything.
They're on some kind of roll. I don't know whether you want to have so many days off. Let's just keep playing.
And they did it with the home run ball. 2 by Moustakas, 2 by Hosmer, a team that hit only 95 all season long.
In the middle of that celebration on the field is Matt Weiner. Matt.
Very wet and very happy Kansas City Royals. Shades of 1985 down here. The Royals headed back to the ALCS. You just made short work of the best regular season team in baseball. Why did this end so quickly?
I don't know, man. We're catching fire at the right time right now, and it's a blast. We got a whole city behind us. We got a whole community behind us, and everyone believes, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
Another 2-run homer for you. I know you struck out a couple of times, but how confident are you feeling right now at the plate?
I'm feeling good. I'm seeing the ball good. I'm getting the table set up for me every time I come up. So, you guys are getting on base. We're making big plays. We're making big pitches. We're doing it right now.
You brought James Shields here to be big game James. This is a big game. He might not have had his best stuff out there, but he did the job for you.
Yeah, but he battled. That's what makes him a big game pitcher right there. He doesn't have his best stuff, and he can still battle and find a way to grind it out for us. That's what puts him above the rest.
Is there anything that Lorenzo Cain doesn't catch?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it yet thus far. He's unbelievable. That's been all year. That hasn't been just the postseason.
How great is this?
He's unbelievable, man. All these people deserve it. They've waited, obviously, a long time. We got the right group of guys in here that are fighting for him, and this is fun right now.
Enjoy it. We'll see you in Baltimore.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Champagne supply in Kansas City got to be running low. Tuesday night, and now on Sunday night they will celebrate. There was George Brett. Final out.
No one prouder than the greatest Royal ever.
For the first time, team with the best record in Major League Baseball swept in a division series. That's the story for the Angels. Let's get more on the Kansas City side down there with Matt.
Yeah, EJ, the Royals trailed for the first time in this short series in the first inning, and Alex Gordon took care of that with a triple. Take me through the at-bat and the moment for you.
Yeah, got 2 strikes on me. Just wanted to make something happen with the bases loaded. Put it in play and got a good pitch to hit and put a good swing on it. So, after they scored 1, it was a good thing that we responded like we did and, kept the crowd into it.
These fans have waited obviously a very long time to return to the ALCS. It wasn't that long ago you were one of these fans waiting for the Royals to return to the ALCS as a kid growing up in Nebraska. Put it into perspective for me what this means to you.
It's great. We've been working all year for this, and it's been a lot of hard work, and the fans have been with us for the last couple of years, and it's been great that we can celebrate it with them now, and they're giving us a lot of excitement and energy throughout the game, and this is just a great atmosphere.
The Angels came in here as the best team in baseball in the regular season. You guys thoroughly outplayed them over a 3-game series. Is this the best you've played all year?
Yeah, and it's the best time to do it. So we're really clicking on all cylinders right now. Our hitters are starting to, swing it a little bit up and down the lineup, and it's a great thing. So we like how we're playing right now, and it's going to be a fun series against Baltimore.
I feel like I should stop quoting the stat about being the team that hit the fewest home run in the major leagues the way you guys are going lately.
We find ways to win. We got an interesting team with speed, defense, and pitching. So we've been doing all year, and we don't care if we hit home runs, but we just care if we win.
It's been fun to watch. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
EJ.
Thank you very much, Matt. You look at the styles of play between Baltimore and Kansas City, as you see Bill Self, the great Kansas basketball coach right there. Baltimore hit the most home runs. Kansas City hit the fewest. Kansas City stole the most bases. Baltimore stole the fewest. And they will go head-to-head, best of 7 for the American League pennant starting Friday here on TBS. Final score, Kansas City here at the K, 8-3 over the Angels. For Ron Darling, Cal Ripken, Matt Weiner, and the rest of our crew, this is Ernie Johnson bidding you a good night from Kansas City. TBS, your home for the 2014 American League postseason. Following a quick break, stay tuned for the postseason show on TBS, presented by Exxon and Mobil. The celebration has begun and will continue in KC.